Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the first edition of Startup Stories, this podcast series of YesTel students, where every 2 weeks we invite a startup over and tell us about their journey, tell about their pitfalls, tell us about what they have done to get to this point. Today, we're here with Breeze, the dating app. We're here with Marco and Masha. Tell us about yourself. What do you do at Breeze? What is your function?
Yeah, so hi there, my name is Masha. I am one of the co-founders. Actually, we're 2 of the 7 co-founders of Breeze. It's very unusual. And I work on the product mostly, and as well as growth.
All right.
Cool. My name is Marco. I also work on product, and on the side I'm a function as a business development. So I optimize the business model.
All right, so I guess the guests will be here. I'm Quinten, I'm from the YesTel Students Board, and the guests are rounded up. So let's start with, what do we have to celebrate today? And with that, we have a bottle of champagne here in our midst. Breeze, what do we have to celebrate today?
Well, we have to celebrate that we've just raised our first funding round, 140,000 euros.
Woo!
And of course, we also got our first salary. So after a year of working for free, actually, we finally are able to live from this company. So we have to celebrate those 2 things.
Well, I guess there's only one option left. That's to get the...
Yes.
Marco,
perfect.
would you be the...
I will do it, yes.
Open the case. So about the funding round, when did you decide to get funding in? At which point?
Can I shoot it?
Yeah, just shoot at the
perfect.
camera for sure.
Whoop. There we go. Ready?
Nice. All right, let's get the glasses.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually wanted to start. We started with the funding round before the whole Corona crisis came about.
Okay.
But then, of course, it brought some difficulties because we couldn't match for a while because we couldn't organize the dates. It wasn't really responsible. So that was a bit of a setback. And then after the first wave, we really started to look into funding again.
Okay.
And we started a crowdfunding round with friends and family, but also parties that were a little bit further away from us. And it went very well. A bit better than expected, actually, right?
Yeah. We initially had a goal of 100,000, and we actually raised more money.
Wow!
So that was it was fun to see that there were more people actually than we expected that believed in our concept. So that really did as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, first of all,
Yeah.
celebrate success, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers. So now that we've celebrated a bit of the little itsy bits of success, you've come up a long way from here. But first of all, let's go back to the basics. Where did Breeze start? You were students?
Yes, we were still. I was in my 2nd year of my master's. You were as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we all knew each other from different times of our studies. We worked together on projects or committees. And then we decided, okay, we want to do something with entrepreneurship, but we don't know exactly. We don't really have one idea that we want to bet on. So we thought, okay, we're just going to try a lot of different things. We're going to test a lot of things. We're going to talk to a lot of people about their problems. And then very soon we realized that a lot of people actually struggle with the current situation with the dating apps.
Yeah, I can imagine.
There's a lot of swiping, there's a lot of chatting, and people don't really get to the date.
Yeah.
And so we thought, okay, we can change something in this scene. And so we just... In the beginning, I think the first week we went around campus. It was at the Faculty of Industrial Design. I remember it very clearly. And we had profiles of friends like printed out, and we asked people at the faculty like, hey, would you want to go on a date without chatting to this person?
Oh, cool.
And then at the first week, we got our first organized date. And then we knew like, okay, there's more to this. So we started going with the concept. We started to organize dates through WhatsApp. We had Google Forms, websites, and eventually after 8 months of like organizing a couple of dates, we thought, okay, now we're gonna build the app.
Yeah.
We're gonna go.
So it's actually normally where you think, well, you're going to start a company, it's an app, you immediately start building an app. But for us, it was actually a lot of rounds of validation before we decided, okay, now we're going to invest some time in building the app.
But you were like a crew of 7, right? So At some point you were like, all right, this is working so well. Fuck this spreadsheet. We'll be going into an app.
Well,
What made you decide that?
Yeah, I remember one time when we were sitting in an office and she walked in.
by the way, the office, we didn't have an office at the time.
Yeah.
We were just at the faculty sort of claiming
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
The hijacked room.
Don't tell it to you that, but so and she came in the room and she was like, guys, we just had 2 dates yesterday. We have something, you have to place yourself in our feet there, where we just had this idea and there was nothing really there yet. And then at a certain point you start having a spreadsheet of 50 by 50, and then it's not doable anymore to do that, and you start building your algorithm. And then the reason we finally went for an app is because there was this moment where we got kicked out of WhatsApp because WhatsApp is from Facebook, and Facebook doesn't allow dating services matching people through WhatsApp.
Interesting.
So we woke up
Quite
and
understandable.
quite understandable. So we woke up and we saw you've been banned from WhatsApp, and we had like 400, 500 contacts that we were daily messaging. Hey, your profiles are ready. Hey, don't forget to answer, etc., etc. So it was complete mayhem, and then we kind of quickly decided, okay, we have to build an app. We had a first version in there, also still with WhatsApp as a substitute for customer support, and then slowly but surely we completely let go of WhatsApp.
But what happened to all the contacts? Were they just lost?
No. So we had they were still there or something, but we had to contact them through a new number, and then I don't know. WhatsApp also knew that we had a new number, so within 2 days it was again you got blocked.
Cool.
But we were still able to see the phone number, so we had to contact them through our personal numbers or whatever. So it was It was a lot of. It was amazing.
So stressful. Yeah.
But you have to contact everyone like, oh no, we got banned by Facebook. Download this app.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can imagine that we were sending literally like 200 messages a day. Or 300 messages a day, and all of a sudden, and all of a sudden it's gone. So then you have to quickly pivot towards something new.
Yeah, and it's actually funny because we were at that point we weren't even sure if we were ever going to build an app, because we thought that WhatsApp was working really well. People were giving us feedback that the personal contact was really nice and that they enjoyed just sort of going about their day and suddenly get a WhatsApp. But then sometimes things just happen and then you have to adjust to it. So WhatsApp kicking us out of their service made us sort of shift to.
They kind of push you over the edge, right? So pretty much, you guys are all founders, but Facebook was like, smack them off the edge.
But in the end, I mean, I'm very happy that they did. Because we should thank them, because the service that we have now, we weren't able to do that through WhatsApp. That was going to be impossible. And in the end, it's also nice to say that you have an app, right? Because it keeps people committed as well to come back to the app instead of. How many open chats do you have on your WhatsApp? I know that you have like 200, so you quickly forget somebody that messaged you. And it's pretty important for us that people actually show up for the dates. So
I think it's a pretty important thing. So so the app is here now. You need to get everyone to the app. How? Just all the contacts you previously had. So like, you have to download it right now. And were there any big struggles with the apps or with the growth with this app?
Well, first of all, none of us really had experience in development. Well, like people knew how to develop, but not really front-end development. For an app, we hadn't done that yet. So the first version was really crappy, or it was really an MVP. A lot of things didn't work, but we just sent all the messages through WhatsApp and saying like, hey guys, we have these profiles ready for you. If you want to see them, you should go to the app and download it, because that's the only way you can see them now anymore. Nice. And slowly but surely things started to grow. We also had a lot of the first time we also we went to certain events or certain places where there were a lot of students, because our beachhead market were students, primarily between Leiden and Delft at the beginning, but eventually we started to match in different student cities. And so that's how we gained our first couple hundreds of users is really like being like in the trenches. So we went to all the events, we sort of went to all the student associations and just walked in with posters and asked if we could hang them up. Really, yeah, and also like sending a lot of WhatsApp messages to group chats.
That's a really good trick.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, every student is in like 10 different group chats. So if you just ask all your friends, hey, can you send this around? That really worked for our initial kind of growth. That really took off.
Yeah.
WhatsApp has been the best bet for you guys.
Yeah. Oh my, but also like my friends hated me for it because I was always bugging them with.
I can imagine.
But in the end, it really helped in the beginning. Like you don't be afraid to use your friends in the beginning for your success because it's really
I can
helpful.
imagine. So keep your friends close if you're trying to start it.
Definitely.
Can say that for sure. So when we go back to starting a startup is quite an intense hobby, I'd say, in the first stages. So hobby. Take it with a grain of salt. Well, at some point you guys were still studying, right? So at some point the balance between time, effort spent into the breeze and into the study, how did that keep it itself in balance, or is it was like, okay, I have to do far less courses and I will just go full breeze?
Yeah, so initially when we started, with the dream of setting up a company, we already talked to each other about having that commitment. Because we did have experience with, trying to set up companies, but that was on a Tuesday night or something like that. And then it doesn't really take off. So we decided, okay, we need at least 3 days a week where we fully commit towards this.
Okay.
And actually, then you were able to do some courses, but less. And actually, there was this point where we actually went on a Delft student trip to Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah.
And then I think
Startup flight.
Startup flight. Yeah. And I think one of the people that we spoke there was like, you won't beat us in Silicon Valley. We have more money, we're smarter, and we work harder. And then we were like, okay, so if we keep on doing this 3 days a week, then we might as well not. So at the end of the summer, we decided to fully focus, fully commit to the startup. Yeah.
So it really took flight after flight.
Sorry. Yeah, but yeah. So at that point, we were like, okay, if we're really serious about this, then we really should go for it.
And then everyone went full time.
Yeah.
I think also like I think everybody made this decision for him or herself as well. Is that like you think, okay, where do I learn the most? What do I get the most energy out of? And then I think everybody sort of decided, okay, if we want to do this, we should do it now. We don't have any other commitments. We don't have like a family or a job. We're used to not having money because we're students. So I mean,
and you can still get your loan from the course, right? So
so we thought, okay, if we want to try it, we should try it now. And I think up until this day, I'm still very happy with this decision. Yeah,
the leap has been taken.
There's no regrets.
So you guys are taking the leap with 7 of you guys. That's quite a team, I'd say.
Yeah.
Then comes, it has to be a sustainable business model. So the dates are paid, the dates are coming in.
Yeah.
How did you guys you didn't pay, you didn't ask money from the app for in those first stages, right? So there has been a point where you guys are like, this is now my job.
Yeah. Well, that didn't come for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, what defines job? Anyway, in the beginning we had this certain business model in mind where, because we haven't thought this yet, I guess, the whole idea of Breeze is that you actually go on a date. So we organize the dates for the people, so they don't swipe, they don't chat, but instead matches directly organize the date. And we organize it at partner locations. And we thought, okay, this is what a business model is. The partner locations, so the cafes or the restaurants that we plan the organized dates in, they are going to pay for this. And so we tried to find partners. Like we really went to a lot of cafes in Delft.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And everybody sent us away. Nobody wanted to have us organize dates there.
Yeah.
But we found one partner. And they said, okay, you can plan dates here and you're going to get €2 per date. And that was not, of course, not a sustainable business model, but we thought, okay, we need to try this, we need to see if people want this, so we're going to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at a certain point we thought, okay, the daters do not pay for this, maybe after the date we should send them a WhatsApp at that point.
A tiki.
WhatsApp. We should, but we should send them a tiki like, hey, if you thought this was worth something, pay us whatever you think it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And then we saw that people were actually paying like €1, sometimes €3, sometimes
really?
€5, and then we thought, okay,
Cool.
Yeah.
people are apparently willing
Yeah.
to pay for it. So we're going to change the business model. So instead of really finding the money at the partners, we're going to switch it to the to the daters. And that's what we're still doing today.
Yeah.
Wow. So, well, the first partner, obviously a pioneer. Was there like a domino effect following up? Like, the neighboring restaurant is getting more.
Yeah,
retail.
you would hope so. You would hope so, but not yet.
Not yet.
I think that will come when we're
Mhm.
you know way bigger than we are right now.
Yeah.
But you do see that they are talking with their colleagues or other cafes in the area. Yeah. About the concept. So I mean that is a pretty good sign.
Oh, nice.
But we don't have the hey they have that so I want that too yet.
But you did get some emails, though,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that was when we in the beginning of this year in January we got a lot of media attention, and actually that's when we got also a lot of mails from cafes everywhere in the country. Hey, I want to organize or be able to facilitate your days.
Where did this media chaos came from?
Yeah, actually, it's you would think that they just kind of call you, but you actually have to work for it.
They don't
So
just call.
no.
Okay.
So we sent out a press release and very tactically mentioned Delft student dating app. Algorithm.
That's the magic
That's
word.
the magic word. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we started getting like traction on that side, and then I think RTL made a article about us, and then kind of spread out to all the other.
That week was crazy.
Yeah.
I remember I was at a friend and I was walking home and he called me and he was like, "You guys are on the radio right now, 538, tune in." And I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah.
We weren't expecting it at all to really, because if one media picks you up, sort of, the dominoes fall.
Yeah.
And so 1 week was complete chaos and we weren't prepared for it. The app wasn't.
Yeah, I
at all
remember that.
developed.
Looking at WhatsApp. Guys, we're doubling in half an hour. More. Oh, no, the server is out.
I can imagine chaos going in.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's a real, the streamline just goes crazy.
Yeah.
But my question is, you started in Delft, right? But, I've downloaded the app myself. And you've reached out to lots of cities actually in the Netherlands. So how did that go? Like, how did you reach out to another city? Like, I guess that would be a pretty big step, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Well, the thing about Breeze is you cannot just launch everywhere, because you need to go. You need to reach a certain critical mass because you need to be able to match people in a city.
Yeah.
So we were very hesitant at first to sort of spread to a lot of cities all at once. But we noticed that it's best to sort of spread like an oil stain, we call it. So sort of spread towards Rotterdam, because in Rotterdam also people from Delft can date. And then spread to Amsterdam, because in Amsterdam also people from Utrecht and Leiden are willing to travel to. And so slowly but surely we were spreading in these student cities. And now we're doubting, like we launched in The Hague today, by the way. Yeah, it's our 7th city.
Yeah.
And now we're contemplating if we want to make the big step towards another country.
Cool. Well, that will be the headliner there. Nice.
Because we want to test really if this concept will work in a different culture as well.
Yeah. Okay. From different culture. All right. But how is this? How is reaching out to another city? It's like you have a cafe who is like, I want Breeze.
Yeah, you kind of mail as many cafes as you can possibly think of, and you hope that some of them bite, and then you can start organizing dates as soon as possible. And I mean, you can play around with the business model on their side, because part of our deal is that you pay for your date, but you also get your first drink included, and you can play around with either paying for the first drink or not paying for the first drink and all that kind of stuff. So that's when you start with that, and then you kind of direct your marketing towards that. Use the WhatsApp groups again, and then and then the whole thing starts over. Yeah.
Yeah, and also reach out to local media really help, like smaller newspapers or media outlets.
I guess it's a pretty nice thing to write about too, right? Love, dating,
Yeah.
algorithms.
Yeah, and also because we are partnered with like a restaurant at that city, so people enjoy sort of like linking it, like, oh, I know this restaurant, I can date there. So things like that really help. Yeah.
And now we have, of course, this user base, and we can also send them a notification in the app. Hey, add The Hague to your cities you would like to date in. So now people and it's shared with your friends.
Yeah, activation.
So we also have our own audience that we can easily reach. So it should be easier, as we get bigger.
So you have now a small community inside the app.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, because
for professional daters.
Like a couple of months ago, we would have stepped in the train and sort of travel there and then talk to a lot of people. But now we can sort of stay here and sort of activate our user base.
It's your minions. Reach out to other cities.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yeah, cool. Really nice. So, you get it like scales, media jumps in, cities jump in.
Yeah.
Now the investors jump in. And you still have 7 people. And the team is scaling up. Yeah, I heard you guys got new team members recently?
Yeah, we have a couple of interns or part-time workers.
4 interns, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a team of 11.
The startup is really forming. You're now in the incubator yourself. What are the big plans to the vision of Breeze? You now have the money.
Well, you would think so. You now have the money, but that also that money disappears very quickly. The biggest dream, which we call the big, hairy, audacious goal, is to have 5 million dates planned.
5 million dates
in 5 years.
5 million dates. 5 years. All right.
So that sounds like a lot, but if you have exponential growth, then it's possible.
I think we're now at almost 2,000.
Yeah, now we're at 2,000. So we still have a long way to go.
Yeah.
If we don't get any delays due to Corona, it's feasible.
I looked at the numbers.
Yeah.
And it worked out.
Okay. We have numbers.
No, but it's really interesting to make this shift from like a student project. Well, it was not really a student project, but from this sort of part-time, let's see where it goes thing to make this sort of professional company. Like the things that we do now on a day is very different from what we used to do. So this transformation for us as individuals, but also like as a company, is really interesting.
And how does it feel to get your first round? Like, is it like, oh, now we're playing with the big stacks?
I remember a couple of months ago we were talking about investments, and people were saying like, I was like, oh, but how much do we want? And somebody said like, oh yeah, maybe 30,000. And I was like, 30,000? That's so much money. So much money, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah.
And then now we have like 4 times or like, and it's sort of, it's strange, but you sort of get used to it. You're also getting used to growth. Like things start to feel normal and you want more. And that's also something that what
you need to appreciate
entrepreneurship is about. It's like,
I can imagine.
You're happy with what you've reached, but also you don't think it's enough because you want more. And also, I think it's also, on the other hand, it's really scary to all of a sudden have money because now we have something to lose.
A lot of responsibility as well.
So don't get the growth addiction too hyped up.
No. But
get it hyped up, but don't spend all your money to get there. So make sure to balance the money you spend with the money that comes in. I think that's very important. And so if you have organic growth and that kind of stuff, that really helps towards
making tactical also like more long-term decisions. Like, okay, maybe we should invest some of that money towards like better branding. We won't really directly see results, but in the long run, it's going to be worth it. So those are kind of decisions that we are making right now. Not really like putting all the money into digital ads. No.
I guess that won't be really effective right now.
No.
So as has been said, we can't really go around it. COVID when I think about a dating app, without talking, just meeting, I think COVID will be the biggest enemy ever.
Yeah.
And I guess it would be too.
Yeah.
And for the exponential growth you guys are probably getting.
Yeah.
What are the biggest challenges of Corona for you guys? And how do you come with solutions? Because you're still here, right?
Yeah, so the biggest challenge, indeed, what you mentioned is we are in the business of facilitating real life, face-to-face interactions, right? Connections. And if the cafes are closed, where we initially only place our dates, that was our initial blow during the first lockdown. People were, invited, or they couldn't go out of their house. So we really started to kind of research again, okay, what is the need now? Because you're not going to tell me that, only sitting behind your phone or your laptop facilitates that real world connection that you need. So we decided to, okay, what about walk and talk days? And that's actually the pivot or the addition to our service that we're offering right now, which means that even though that there's like a lockdown or semi-lockdown, we're still able to couple people together and have them go on a date. But then it's a COVID, free or COVID-proof date where you can keep the 1.5 meters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But also, it's not. Yeah. We also tried a lot of different things in the meantime that didn't work out. So it's not as if everything works out and now we're better because of it, because we also had a lot of struggles. Like we tried video dating and that didn't work, things like that. So
that would kind of put us in the position that apparently seeing each other through video is not the next big thing in online dating, right?
So it's quite a cool experiment. I think for you guys, pretty cool to do, right?
Definitely.
So you come up with a hypothesis, let's say.
We just
totally Zoom date. Yeah, totally.
And we tested it and invalidated it before Tinder even launched their version. So
Wow,
when we saw the headline, Tinder is launching a video date, we're like, been there, done that. Okay.
just watch them. The funding round is here, so I guess Corona would be. It is a nuisance.
A minor implication.
Minor implication.
Let's
get the.
That's the right wording, definitely.
Let's stay positive. But don't test positive.
Second.
Okay, so good talk. I guess we came up with a whole circle about where it started, where it happened, and where you guys are ending up as well. You're planning to go further, right? You're not stopping.
No. We haven't
is.
reached the 5 million yet, so we still gotta go.
The 5 million. It has to go, I guess.
Yeah.
So in every startup stories podcast, we do the dilemma, and today on our Instagram we posted the dilemma. The dilemma says, first finish my study, and then start a company. So, what do you guys think are the results?
I think the consensus in the when you're a student is that you should finish your studies. So I think that one.
Yeah. Well, about 500 people voted on these polls. The distribution is 51% to finish your study, and 49% to start the startup.
Awesome.
Though we do have a really, I'd say, ambitious community.
It's a
bit biased. So we'll look at the eye when they answer. So are you guys surprised with this?
Yeah, I'm surprised that it's that. But when you explain that it's of course biased audience,
for sure.
That doesn't make sense then. But I don't think that's that all the students in the TU think.
No,
I wouldn't encourage people to not finish their study, but if you have the opportunity to try something whilst you're still studying, then I would definitely recommend them to do so. So I'm happy that 49%.
Well, I guess that will be a compliment to the audience from here. Yeah, really cool, guys. I saw you come in with a gadget.
Yeah.
So in every podcast, every startup flexes on each other with a gadget. So we'll leave them on the stage right here. So tell me all about it.
Yes, I have hidden it here all along. So Breeze is of course about real life interactions, the spark and the thrill of going on an actual date. And we wanted to have a gadget for ourselves as well that sort of commemorates, that fits this vision of us. And we have this thing with the team that every time we double in the amount of dates that we've organized, we're gonna go and celebrate. So we're gonna go out for dinner. Well, now we can't, but we did. And we're celebrate together. And so we have these coasters that we always sort of give to each other when we double in size. And this is the original Breeze coaster that we want to give to you as well. And it says, maybe you should stop chatting and start dating, which is one of our slogans, but dating is drinking now.
Oh, they start drinking.
Well, guys, this is for our first 600 days.
So this is the
first 600, our collector's item, the first gadget for our setup, the 600 dates trophy, I'd say, from
That's what it is, yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I think a lot of people in the audience can relate to the drinking part, so yeah, I guess I'll be putting it here. I think I'll find it. Well, for now that will be Ryan's fault.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys. I think we discussed a lot of cool points. I got a lot of good points. I think I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast for this time. And in 2 weeks we're back with another version of Startup Stories. So thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Hope to see you soon and with 5 million days.
Cool.
All right. Bye bye.